Hello and welcome back. We're wrapping up our series here on the Integrated Preparedness Plan and Annual Report Toolkit. As a reminder, we're shifting gears here a little bit to talk about the multi-version. So this would be city to county, county to state, state to regional, different levels of organization out there, right? So let's say you're a big box retailer and you were doing some of this preparedness investment work, store up to maybe regional headquarters, whatever it is, kind of a higher, lower headquarters sort of approach. Very similar to the individual toolkit we looked at in the rest of the series. This just takes that and kind of scales it up so we can pull some regional insights. So we'll take a quick look through here at what the changes are, and then we'll spend the bulk of our time talking about some of the unique functionality of those rollups. So as we scoot down here, you'll notice all of the information here is the same. However, when we get down here a little bit, we change up a few things with the counties or those kind of lower headquarter units. And then we get down into some stuff that we're going to spend some time talking about. And so as you look through here, one of the cool things we can do is we can integrate between the two documents. So let's say you had your counties fill out this, right? We're back in that individual IPP deal. And so you sent this out, they made a copy. This is County A, they filled all their stuff out. If you want to incorporate that, we can just come in here to column B, right, of this data entry tab, control, shift down arrow, and we go right down there to the bottom, right? We can go all the way to the bottom, or you can just drag your mouse down. What we're trying to do is essentially highlight all of column B. We'll copy that. We can come back over to our other tab where we had that multi-version, and we can do a couple of things, right? We've got here a copy here and paste here to print. We've copied that set of data. We can paste it in there, right? And it's going to land right there, same column to column sort of deal. We can come back and we can say, hey, no, we're going to use that old one. So long story short, we brought it from the lower element up to the higher element. And then all the functionality we talked about in those first videos all works here. The other kind of cool thing that you can do is if you just share this workbook out with your lower level county partners, you can come in here and kind of populate up some of the data. As you can see, we've got a state data entry master and state answers tab where you can populate some of the higher stuff that will flow the information down. So if there are core capability priorities or whatever else the case may be, right, we can flow those down. Long story short, we can do the same copy paste thing in. So if we had an individual county that had filled one out and we wanted to incorporate it, we could sure do that. Right now, we've got it broke down here by kind of color coded by region. You can change those colors or the region names or whatever it might be to suit your jurisdictional area. The other cool thing we can do is if we just start with the multi-version, right, we say in this case it's the Wyoming version, we can come in here and hit protect sheet. We can set permissions on this. It has sheet protections, okay. We can change permissions. We can come in here and add emails of just the county folks that are in that particular county that can edit. Let's see, don't share, cancel, right? What we can do though is essentially lock the tabs so that County A only has County A that can access it and edit it. So County B doesn't accidentally overwrite their information. You can set that up as the state, right? Share the document out. Similar, right? Add your county email addresses in here. Off it goes. And now, again, facilitate the conversation where County 1 or County A or whatever you called it there is filling out their tab, County 2, County 3, County 4, all based on those regional groupings, right, that you kind of pre-populated. So either way, you can either copy paste it in or have folks do direct data entry right onto the spreadsheet. Let's scooch down here. This will hold up to 50 different kind of lower level units, 50 counties, 50 tribes, 50 whatever you want to call them. Again, with those customized drop downs, right, that we showed in one of those earlier videos. So as we come in here, those two tabs remain the same. This aggregate master, however, is where the magic starts to happen. So what we did with this, and it's a monster of a data haul, and so it'll take a minute to load, but essentially it aggregates those 50 different sets of data all up into one tab. And so from there, that's where we start pulling some of our information into the infographics and the insights we're going to harvest. This was that state data entry master and state answers. So let's say, again, we're passing this down to the counties. We want to roll up a kind of a wide version of what's going on. So we say state of euphoria is where we're operating out of. It's going to remind you, hey, you sure you want to change this to make sure you don't accidentally overwrite some stuff? And we say, yes, we do. But now if you come back here and look, right, it should be harvesting down some of those changes that you make up here down into those lower units. Once we're here, you can see now we're starting to pull in insights that are a little different, right? So in Region 7, we had, which jurisdictions reported. Now we start seeing what are those top natural hazards that the folks inputted from their thyroid data. What are the critical infrastructures across your state roll up, right? So in this case, 8% government complexes, emergency services 16. The gaps are now summarized across the data that was put in. What plans? So again, counties in this case, a third, and a third doing the different planning. We can roll up the costs. Again, we don't have much data in here in this kind of sample form, but if you had your counties participating, you can now get a sense of across your state or your network, how much are we spending on planning, right? What plans are we updating? Are we getting plans across the board? Same with organization, training. How are we delivering training? Which classes are being requested or being delivered? Are there training concerns, right? That again, our state training officer can now use to farm back into our higher level IPP. And are we actually getting the training across the finish line? Similar kind of questions and answers here with exercises. And again, this could be a forecast like we've talked, or as folks, populate and keep the data up to date, kind of a year in review look, right? Are we doing exercises? Who are we doing them with? How long are they? What kind of special events or real world activities are we running into? What kind of cost are we generating? And this now has rolled up all the things. Our state infographic report, and then we've got a placemat, right? It now starts to pull in here a little bit more information, where it's pulling in and summarizing extra stuff. As we come across, we can do a regional type reports. And so when we look here, what we're doing is with this aggregate master, we're doing a copy paste similar to what we did earlier. Let's just close this. Because what we're doing, the aggregate master is a bunch of formulas. This needs to be text. So we're going to go copy our aggregate master, right? Starting here at kind of that A2, all the way down to the bottom, copy it. And we're going to come in here and we're going to say paste special. And we want the values only. Excel and Google Sheets don't necessarily look well down into the code. They look at the values. So we'll paste the values only, effectively making this a one-time process where we copy the data or the aggregate master at the end of our IPPW cycle. We paste it over here, and we're essentially just translating it from formulas that are looking out for some data to making it actually say, hey, these are just values. These are just numbers on a piece of paper. So that is a manual process. That's one of the few manual processes out here, but that really is a one-time deal. From there, now what we can do is say we want to pull a regional report. I only want to see the Region 7 sort of stuff or whatever the case may be. And there's two things you got to do here. The first is these couple of blue-green boxes. And so we can say we're going to look at region whatever the case. That is a little reminder, cell A10 below. You come click on A10, gives you a little bit of information, but what we're doing here is just changing whatever number. So I wanted to look at 5, I changed that to a 5, and it will now pull the 5 stuff, right? You can see it's pulling our region 5 information off of here. From there, we do a little bit of quick customization that in region 5, our planning POET summary, you can kind of just summarize up what those things are for your region. If there's any kind of a bottom line up front super summary, you can type that in as it applies to region 5. Now, the next ones that sort of pop up are regional reports. So region 5, it pulled in these couple of things, summarizes what are the top threats and hazards across your region 5 geography here. And so again, if we had that data populated, it would pull it in. It would also sort of say what are those key resources and critical infrastructure in that geographic area, what are the special events they're looking at, what are the core capabilities they're looking at, what real world things may come to pass here across the calendar time. As you scooch down here, we can see what plans are they going to update. And so we may notice that, boy, the Region 5 County 1 here, Fremont, is doing their emergency operations plan in January, and we were planning on doing the sublet one in April. Maybe we sync those up, maybe not, right? But it gives you those insights in kind of one-stop shop fashion. Similar kind of stuff right across organizational activities, equipment to purchase. Cool part here, though, is training. And so we can see now what classes are kind of in our neck of the woods, what our neighbors are doing, and we might go, hey, I'm going to go attend such and such class that's going on over there. Similar kind of stuff on the placemat. This rolls it up, right? And so it'll pull in some of those key regional partners. It'll pull in some of those insights around what are those top threats and hazards, those core capabilities that the area was looking at, and again, a couple of those core points that you data entered, the blah, 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 and those high-level summaries. And that kind of wraps up our multi-version. So you can see how we can roll up some of this information pretty readily. You also, again, if you utilized having folks do direct data entry or you did the copy-paste method, we can come in here and just sort of see more granular our state of euphoria that we changed earlier, right? And look kind of side by side and go, oh, here's some details, or hey, this class was getting moved, or hey, I didn't know, whatever the case may be. And you just kind of keep this a living document. And by the time you get to the end of the year, you rerun those same reports you ran at the beginning, and now you essentially have an annual report that tells your key stakeholders, here's the story, here's what we got accomplished, and then again can maybe generate some support for further grant asks, more investments, more training participation, whatever it might be out there. So with all that said, we hope you enjoyed the series here on We Prepare as it relates to the IPP Integrated Preparedness Plan and the annual report. Again, stay tuned. We'll show you in another video down the road the mapping component. But what we're doing essentially, this is just harvesting back a bunch of data, and then we'll show you in another video how we go about bringing this into Google My Maps and using it as a data table to then display these as point data on a map that you can embed or gather whatever insights off of. So all that said, as always, thanks for joining us. We appreciate your support, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the next series. Take care. Thanks.